Hello everyone on Redmond's football report today, and today we are maybe actually going to have the second leg and the second part of the Champions League special. We did the first leg last time, and now here's the second leg.
Yes, that's right. We have plenty of football this evening as always,
we do.
and we are going to be talking a lot about the Champions League. I was tempted to do a thing on the Women's Champions League this week, especially as it was yesterday International Women's Day, but I decided against it because we've got so much on, and we are going to devote a special exclusive episode to the next round, which is the quarterfinals of the Women's Champions League when they come up. But we are going to mention the Women's Champions League. We're going to mention a lot more stuff.
Than just Champions League things.
Yes, more than Champions League. But let's get started first with our results from last week. So we had quite a few games set up for last week. I'll run down through them quickly. Redmond will comment in where he spots things, and I'll be interested to hear what he says about scores and what have you. So first up, Adelaide United won, Sydney FC won in the W League in Australia. Then in our Iranimaniacs section, we had Sanat Naft holding Persepolis in an unexpected score of 0-0. Aluminium Iraq just completely collapsed to Sepahan, who won 6-1, and Esteghlal beat Fulad 1-0. And now the last day I need to make a correction. I had thought there were only a couple of games left because I naively looked at the fixture list on FOTMob and it showed me 2 games. And then after the games I went, oh wow, this is going to really put a dramatic end to the season. And then I realized, right, hang on, Sepahan have 3 games left now. They had 2 left before this game was played. So yeah, they don't have the full fixture list up on FOTMob, but I'm estimating that they're about halfway through the season. I can't remember if this is the first or last set of games, so I can only hope that these 6 are playing out each other in the last games of the season, because it does look like Persepolis, Sepahan, and probably Esteghlal will be there or thereabouts. A number of different results in the CAF Champions League in Africa, but Al Ahly were held 2-2 by AS Vita, which is again another unexpected draw, suggesting that AS Vita might be one of the teams to watch this season. The massive game in Madrid at the top of the Spanish table ended up 1-1, which, as you'll see later on, plays mostly to the benefit of Barcelona, who are maybe a game behind Atletico Madrid, but they are only 3 points behind them too. Palmeiras won the Copa dos Brazil by winning 2-0 on Sunday night, I think it was. And then late Sunday night, early Monday morning, depending on where you were, Pumas lost, unfortunately, as kind of predicted, 1-0 to Cruz Azul. In the other games, Juventus came from a goal behind to win 3-1 on Saturday, I think it was. Osasuna lost 2-0 to Barcelona, as had been predicted by some of us. And Juventus women thumped AC Milan 4-0. We won't mention the Liverpool result because I think somebody might be annoyed about that. Would that be right? They can't see you. Don't mention it. Okay. Right, let's...
I said mention it.
Oh, mention it. Yeah, Liverpool lost 1-0 to Fulham at home. Not a good season in the league this year, or at least not since Christmas. Right, let's get rid of those results and Redmond can put his arms back in. You cold?
Yes.
Do you want to go and get yourself a blanket? No. Well, either way, I will go get us an information blanket and I will cover you all with this information blanket. Now, I'm just going to talk about the game of the week, and there were a few candidates, but I'm going to stick with Italy, partly because that's what I've seen most of, partly because that's what I'm enjoying.
It should have been the 6-1 game.
The 6-1 Sepahan win.
Yeah.
No, I went for a different one. I'll get to that in a minute. But we're noticing that this year particularly there's a lot of change in how games are being won. And I don't mean that in that people are winning by I don't know, presenting people with driving licenses or something like that. The goals are going in, more goals are going in a lot later than usual. I had a squint at, now again, there's a micro sample of one day in one league in one country. On Sunday in Serie A, there were, how many games were there on Sunday? Let me quickly tally up. 3, 6. There were 6 games on Sunday on Serie A, which is a relatively big selection. And a few minutes ago, I ran down. There were 23 goals scored on Sunday in Serie A. 12 scored in the first 70 minutes, 11 scored in the last 20 minutes of those games. Which means that if you do what I do, and I missed the beginnings of a few games and I ended up catching the ends of them, you could see a lot of goals in the last 10 or 15 minutes. Like, for example, I caught the game between Crotone and Torino, which ended up 4-2. But I caught 3 goals, only seeing 10 minutes. But our game of the week this week I picked was Fiorentina against Parma. Parma are in deep trouble. They are second from bottom, and they, like a lot of teams, should be better than this. They have something like, they've got 2 games more played than Torino. They're on the same level as Cagliari. So Torino are 4 points ahead on 20 points. Parma are on 16. Crotone on 15, having caught up with the win. Almost caught up. Their goal difference is appalling. Crotone's is minus 36. Parma's is minus 29. They're running out of time, and they thought they had done it on Sunday, that they'd picked up 3 valuable points. Fiore had gone a goal up when it was equalised by a penalty in the 32nd minute. Fiore went 2-1 up before the half. Kurtic got an equaliser in the 72nd minute, and then in the 90th minute, after the added time had been announced, Mihaila scored 1 to make it 3-2 to Parma, only for Parma's right back, Jacoponi, to score an own goal to make it 3-3 at full time. 2 points lost there for Parma, I think, rather than anything else. Fiore, they're playing dreadfully at this point. They are probably just outside of the range of danger, but they're only 10 points ahead of Parma, 11 points ahead of Crotone, who are 20th. They're in 14th. To be honest, everybody up to Bologna should still be a little bit alarmed. Bologna are on 28 points and in 12th, so it's exciting times there. But it's always exciting in the Italian league. What's up? Everybody's looking. Everybody's wondering what's up. We're being needlessly shy. We've a good scatter of games. We're taking in all of the men's Champions League games today. I think this is the round of, it could hardly be the quarterfinals. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's the quarterfinals, I think. Me maths is off. No, it's not. It's the round of 16. Anyway, it's the second legs of the round of 16, I should say. It's all to the round of 16 in the Europa League, and we've got one of those games to tap as well. We'll start off with tonight's games, the Tuesday games. We'll start with Juventus Porto. The last day, Porto scored at the very beginning of the first half and the very beginning of the second half. Juventus got a decent goal back and did come back into the game. It finished 2-1, so Juve have work to do. Are you going to sit down and join us for this? You don't have to, but this is Redmond's football report, not Daddy's football report. We're upset because somebody caught us out for doing something we shouldn't have been doing. Anyway, Juventus have improved their issues with injuries greatly, and they're down to only Bentancur, Danilo and Dybala missing. So that's a big improvement. Porto have no real concerns for their team. Juventus had a good performance the weekend, as you saw. They need to make it happen here. This is a crunch time. Redmond, please. In your Juventus kit, and you're trying to distract from talking about Juventus. Porto are currently second in Portugal. They could end up going third if Braga win their game in hand. So they're not in what you would the position you'd expect Porto to be. I mean, Benfica are even further down, but that's another discussion entirely. Ultimately, It's going to be a clutch game for Juve. They need to win this. It's not looking likely that they're going to win the league. They've won the Super Cup or the Supercoppa. They're in the final of the Copa against a very good Atalanta side. Redmond, what do you think is going to be the score in this one?
2-0 to Juventus. They can pull themselves back.
So Juve to win 3-2 on aggregate. I do see Porto scoring. However, if Morata plays, I can, and obviously Ronaldo and as many of the players who are in full fitness as possible, I can see it going 3-1 to Juve. That's my prediction, 3-1. 4-3 on aggregate. But then I like to think that games will be better than they are. Borussia Dortmund beat Sevilla 3-2 in Seville the last day. Dortmund, for this game, are going to be missing half of their first-choice backline, centre-half and a full-back. They're missing both first-choice winners, which would be Jadon Sancho and not Claudio Reyna, Giovanni Reyna. And they were well beaten 4-2 by Bayern at the weekend. Stop doing that. Sevilla are only missing Alex Vidal, who hasn't really been great at right back this season. They've lost 3 of their last 4, though, since their last match with Borussia Dortmund, which was their 5th game back. It could be a very open game, I hope. And I think the injuries are going to play a part. It's a big game for both of them. But, you know, Sevilla just knocked out of the Copa del Rey. And they are starting to fall a little bit behind. Dortmund are in the semi-finals of the Pokal, so this would not be their only chance. Redmond, what do you think? Dortmund against Sevilla.
Just about Dortmund can win draw 1-1, but in aggregate they'll win just by 1. So it'd be 4-5.
4-3. 4-5 would be Sevilla winning. Similar to himself, I think it's going to be a draw. But I think it's too open to say it's going to go one way or another. There's too many variables to sort of make a solid prediction or a confident prediction. But I'm going to go with 2-2 because why not? Life is short.
Daddy.
On aggregate, it'll end up being, I hope, 5-4. But I'm an optimist. Moving along to one of my picks, and I went for a Europa League game, which will shock nobody. Dynamo Kiev are playing Villarreal. Basically, there's 2 Ukrainian teams and 2 Spanish teams left in the Europa League. There might be only 2 Spanish teams left in the Europa League. The way Barcelona, if Barcelona and Sevilla go out, I can't remember if there's another Spanish team left in the Champions League other than Real. And it's possible that both Barca and Sevilla could go out this weekend or this week. Granada in the other games for the Spanish, other Europa League game, Granada host Molde, and Shakhtar go to Roma for the other Ukrainian team. But we're not here to talk about Shakhtar or Granada. We're here to talk about Dynamo Kiev, who beat Bruges, dropped down from the Champions League, where they were in the same group as Juventus, Barcelona and Ferencváros. Villarreal beat Red Bull Salzburg. Just to focus on Villarreal for a moment, Unai Emery is in charge of them now. Him lately of both Sevilla and then Arsenal. He's known for being a man for the... What are you at? Stop drawing on yourself. Thank you. He's known for being a man for the Europa League, having won it a couple of times with Sevilla and done okay there at Arsenal, if I'm not mistaken. Getting to the final, I think, I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. But at the moment, Kiev are currently top of the Ukrainian league, and they could be winning it for the first time since 2016, I think it is. Their manager is Mircea Lucescu, who's Romanian. He's the man behind the greatest period of success for Shakhtar Donetsk, including their Europa League win. He became the oldest manager ever to manage in the Champions League when he took the bench against Juventus in the first game this season. So this is a man with pedigree and experience. Redmond, wake up, Redmond, wake up. Wake up. Kiev, Redmond. I need you to be awake. Kiev against Villarreal. Who's going to win that one?
Dynamo Kiev 1, Villarreal 0.
Okay, I think he's right. I think it's going to be a win to Kiev. I think they're going to get a bigger win, though. I think the energy is there, and Villarreal are starting to drift in the Spanish league. 3-1, I think, to Kiev. Okay, let's leave Europe and guess where we're going. Where do we always go when we go to CONCACAF? We're going to North and Central America, or really Central America. And what league do we seem to end up in most? What is wrong with you today? I may have to turn this off if you're going to be like this. I was asking if you knew.
I don't remember.
It's okay if you don't remember. It's no big deal. Smacking your face like that. Everybody comment on how he shouldn't be smacking his face. It's Honduras, as we normally are in Honduras for various different reasons. Club Deportivo Montagua are playing Marathon. They're basically, again, as usual, it's in two different groups. But if you look at the overall table, which the website for the Honduras Liga Nacional have, it's basically put down as being one big group. And if you look at it like that, out of the 10 teams, we have got second, Motagua, playing 8th in Marathon. But there's only 6 games in, but there's already a 10-point gap, 15 points to 5. And Motagua have an 8 goal difference to the -3 of Marathon. Marathon were the runners-up, and they're just not there. We couldn't find the details on FotMob, really, to be honest, or Wikipedia, so we went to the website, and the website is really good, I must say. Basically, if you look at it, Marathon are the bottom of Group A, while Motagua are second in Group B, behind, as you've probably guessed, Olympia. I discovered something I didn't expect. Marathon have not won this tie since September 29, which is basically 2 full league seasons ago. There's been 3 champions since Marathon have won this tie. They haven't won a game in 7, which is quite a lot for basically almost a year and a half.
So that basically means they lost just a point every game, except for one game they lost 2 points.
They lost a couple of games. They lost, and they would have gotten 3 points if they'd won. So they lost 3, if you like. Who do you think is going to win that one, Redmond? Motagua against CD Marathon.
Motagua 0, CD Marathon 1.
Okay, well, I'm going the other way on that one, Redmond. Going to go for 2-0 to Motagua. Coming on from that side of the Atlantic, coming all the way back, we're going to Tunisia, where Esperance at the top of the Tunisian league are playing Ben Guerdane. This is Club Sportif Ben Guerdane, as opposed to the city of Ben Guerdane, where the Battle of Ben Guerdane took place back in 2015. That's an important thing to note. It took place in February or March, I think it was February 29th or something like that, 2015. That was the same season that Club Sportif got to the top division for the first time. So it's been halcyon years after that dreadful battle that Tunisia faced fighting Islamic State. I don't really know what Islamic State's position in football is, but I'm guessing it's not very positive. Guerdane have only lost 1 game in 2021, although they've drawn 5 of their last 12 matches, whereas it's perfect form as usual for Esperance, 7 league wins in a row, which is remarkable. Redmond, what do you think is going to happen in this one?
Well, what game are we on for a second?
Esperance against Ben Guerdane.
3-0 Esperance.
Okay, I'm going to go with a 2-1 win to Esperance. I'd like to see Ben Guerdane do okay. Moving further on, staying in the Islamic world, we're going to Ittihad against Shabab in Saudi Arabia. Yes, I don't like their government either, but the football is the football, and this was the most interesting game in Asia as far as I was concerned this week. We have third playing first, 7 points between the two teams. There's a goal difference of 10 for Ittihad and 19 for Shabab. Shabab are looking very good for the league this season, but again, we're not really at the end of the season yet. The teams drew 1-1 in December, but of the last 5, The last game, I think that this time last season, Al Ittihad, when hosting Al Shabab, won 5-1, which is a pretty big win. Ittihad are a Jeddah team, and this is Jeddah against Riyadh again, as Al Shabab comes from there. Al Shabab have 6 titles, and they're closing in on their 7th. This would be their 2nd title since the last time Al Ittihad won their 8th, which was back in 2009. So, Redmond, what do you think is going to happen? Al Ittihad against Al Shabab?
Al Ittihad 1. Al Shabab 3.
Okay. I'm going for a 1-1 draw there myself. Moving back across the Atlantic and across the Mediterranean, depending on how you're traveling, or across North Africa. I mean, I don't mind. It's your plane flight. It's up to you. We're going to the Copa Libertadores, and we're looking at 2 games. One of my picks I'm going to get to in a moment. But first, I think the objectively best game in the Copa Libertadores this week is Guarani against Atletico Nacional. This is basically Paraguay against Colombia. Guarani are the 2nd oldest team in Paraguay, and they're playing against a team set up in 1947 to play in the first pro league in Colombia, the one that was banned by FIFA, or banned for a little while. Nacional have a great history. They're in the finals of both the Copa Libertadores and the Copa Sudamericana in 2016 and lost neither of them. The other game in the 2016 Copa Sudamericana final was against Chapecoense, and that was the one with the horrific plane crash. And Nacional were the club of the year that year, in terms of fair play, for forfeiting the game and allowing it to go to the team that suffered the greatest tragedy. They'd already won the Copa Libertadores, so they were kind of it was a luxury for them to let it go. Ironically, though, they've never won the Copa Sudamericana, and so they will try once more again this year. Guarani are more good than bad at the moment, but they lost at home to Luqueno at the weekend, and they also lost to Olympia a little bit earlier. Atletico Nacional have lost 2 games this season, but they look quite inconsistent. So, Redmond, if you're going to ignore everything else, we'll just drag you back for a score to give it the token sense of it being Redmond's football report.
Nacional 2, Guarani 0.
Guarani 0, Atletico Nacional 2, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Looking at the other game in South America that I picked, and there are a few of them, these are 2-legged affairs, by the way, and it's not straight into the groups as I thought. Union Española of Chile play Independiente del Valle of Ecuador. This is the first leg, obviously. Union were runners-up in the Champions League back in 1975, which I did not realise, when they played against the other Independiente. Meanwhile, Independiente were runners-up in the 2016 Copa Libertadores to, you guessed it, Atletico Nacional. And they were the Copa Sudamericana winners in 2019 and the Under-20 Copa Libertadores winners in 2020. Their star is rising. It's hard to believe that their first time in the top tier was 2010. The teams last played in group stages back in 2014. They played 2-2 draw in Ecuador, and it was a 5-4 win to Independiente del Valle in Chile. So this should be a good game. What do you think, Redmond?
Gonna be a good game.
What do you think the score is going to be?
1-1.
1-1. I would agree with a draw, but I feel fruity because these are 2 fruity teams and they've got a lot to play for here. I'm going to guess it's going to be a 3-3 draw. Finally, back to one of Redmond's teams. Liverpool against Leipzig. Now, this game is being played in the Puskás Arena in Budapest. So, as in the previous game, there's no real home advantage to either team. Liverpool's form in England continues very poorly, and in a shocking twist, having signed 2 central defenders to replace all the injured central defenders, one of the bigger name of the 2 new central defenders is also now out injured. So, according to one thing I saw, they were looking at Fabinho and I can't remember who else it was, playing central defence in this game on Wednesday. The Hungarian wonder kid Zoboszlai is also, that's a terrible pronunciation. We won't worry about that. You can leave that alone. He's out as well, as are 4 other typical starters for who is Red Bull Leipzig. The form has been pretty good, but the Champions League game notwithstanding. So Redmond, who do you think is going to win between Liverpool, who are 2 goals up already, and Leipzig? Nobody's going to win.
2-2.
2-2 draw, 4-2 to Liverpool on aggregate. So I'm going to agree with him saying that it's going to be 4 to Liverpool, but I'm going to say it's going to be 4-3. We have predicted a lot of 4-3 and high scoring tie final aggregates. 2-1 I think to Liverpool on the night.
And I was choosing like 7-1 on PSG and Barcelona's one. 7-1.
Well, we're about to talk about that one because Barcelona have a brand new president. They also have a talk of brand new bankruptcy, but they're still doing really well in the league. It's a weird time in Barcelona. It's transition while almost challenging. They're in the final of the Copa del Rey. They're second in the league behind a faltering and stuttering Atletico Madrid. They could win 2 big trophies this year and it'd be considered a failed year. They're missing Piqué, Fati, Coutinho, Araujo and Sergi Roberto. So
and it could be the end of
Messi's era as well. Yes, he may be going for free in the summer. For PSG, well, it's March, so Neymar's missing. Moise Kean of Juventus, formerly later Everton, he's also out. But they've plenty of good players over, so I mean, you can expect Icardi and Angel Di Maria and other high caliber players to be playing anyway. It's hard to see Barcelona pulling this back. But because they need to score 4 goals.
More than 4 goals to get
through. Not necessarily. If they win 4-0, they go through. And the thought of them winning 4-0 is hard to imagine.
They actually have to score 3 goals because they lost 4-1.
No, if they get 3, if they only score 3, they win 3-0. Paris Saint-Germain will have more away goals and will go through on that. Previously, though, Redmond, Paris Saint-Germain had made a 4-1 win against Barcelona in a 4-0 win in the first leg, which I think must have been in Paris, only to lose 6-1 at home. This was back in 2017. So it's not over, but this could be curtains on Messi and the Champions League with Barcelona. Redmond, who do you think is going to win it? You already kind of gave it away.
3-0 on PSG.
Okay, that would be 7-1, which would be the same difference as Bayern against Barca in the Champions League last year. I'm going to be a little bit more circumspect. I think Barcelona is going to get everybody's hopes going, but maybe not until they may concede it first or last. But I think it's going to end up being 3-1 to Barcelona, and they go out on by a single goal. I think it could be a very exciting game. It remains to be seen. I didn't even mention Mbappe today, and he's the best bloody player in Paris Saint-Germain.
And Mbappe scored a lot of goals for Paris Saint-Germain.
He has indeed. Finally, possibly the best game of European Champions League football this week. Stop that. We have the second leg of Atletico Madrid against Chelsea in the round of 16 in the Champions League. I'm really getting fed up with this. There may not be another one of these if you carry on like this. Chelsea won the first leg 2-0, and now Atletico Madrid have to try and pull that back. But unfortunately for them, this game is not taking place in Madrid. It's taking place in Monza, which basically scraps Atleti's home stadium advantage. Chelsea got to play in their home in, I think it's Cherry Red Road or something like that, last week. So they have a neutral fixture for this one. Will it matter though? Chelsea had a red card against them and a penalty given against them in the first 15 minutes when the score was 0-0, and they still managed to win 2-0. So they've only lost 22 games since January last year, January 2020. In basically 14 months, they've lost 2 games, Redmond. Atleti have dropped 3 games since January this year and now fallen to 4th in Spain, looking like they may fall further behind Barcelona at the top, Levante, and Real Madrid Femenino, I think. Who do you think is going to win this one, Redmond? This one's taking place tomorrow at 13 hours 30 Central European time. So, Atletico Madrid against Chelsea.
0 Atletico Madrid. 1 Chelsea.
So, Atletico Madrid, not Atletico Madrid. 0 Chelsea 1. I think it's going to end up 3-1 to Chelsea myself. Monza is not an advantage to Atletico in any way other than Chelsea also have to fly there. So that is it. Those are our tips of the games for the week. That is all our expectations, hopes and agonies, as you can see beside me. Redmond, any thoughts you want to share about football for the week?
Like the video, subscribe and hit that bell so you never miss a football report. And also, comment down the teams you like.
Please. Okay, so...
And you can do it for like free, not even $1, but... And maybe you can have your team for a day, or maybe even 2.
Yeah.
Isn't that exciting?
Yes, we'll be only too happy to include other teams as they're listed to us. But there's little more for us to do, but to say goodbye and put up the previews. Redmond.
Bye, everyone, on Redmond's Football Report. Bye.